Oh, great. We're rocking out.
We really need to get some new music.
At least some 70s rock.
All right, we got a few on. Here we go. Oh, that might just be me.
Yeah, that's you, Daddy.
What's that big deal?
Big deal.
Big deal in the house. Let me cue this awesome rock and roll, baby. Let's see if I can get back to where we are. Okay.
Well, big deal. We were just going to do a little recap of the Bellamy Mansion this past weekend.
I was just saying, there's the camera. You ain't got to look at my phone.
Okay, I was looking down at your phone.
So anyway, we appreciate everybody hopping on. We'd like for you to comment and be involved. And
we would really like to see that.
Yeah, but when you make a comment for the first time, give us your name so we can see it. We're using StreamYard, and we don't see comments that come off of Facebook. We're also live on YouTube right now, our old YouTube page, which we still got. We're still using it until we finish up the new one.
Yeah.
So just leave your comment. I'm gonna be looking on my phone. I can see your name there. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm Greg. This is Riley. We're part of Down South Supernatural. We appreciate you hopping on tonight. Coming off a pretty big weekend,
big investigation weekend in Wilmington.
Yeah, we got some videos, got some things that happened. Truthfully, my take on it, we all feel different. So we had special guests. Of course, Halo went with us. Had Angel and his wife Ruth from Durham Paranormal were along with us. We had a good time. We had the Bellamy Mansion for 4 hours. We actually cut out early. We left at about 3. I don't know. The places that were really intriguing to us were the slave quarters, which is a whole separate building. Really, we were probably there maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, in the slave quarters.
Yeah, we
won't get much action.
Yeah, we got 0, you know.
Yeah.
So we concentrated on the house. There's some things that did happen in the house.
We did get a lot of activity in the house in certain areas.
So just a little story on the Bellamy Mansion, by the way. Anybody can visit it. They have a museum. They have archives there. They have tours of it, so anybody can go. And it's a real neat place. That place is built in the 1860s. A beautiful home.
It really is.
I think part of it burned. I don't really know how much of it actually burned that they had to redo. But a lot of it burned. I don't know neither. We went for the paranormal activity to see if we could contact or make any communication with any spirits there.
And I believe we did.
Yeah, Angel and Ruth had his spirit box, and they had a lot of sessions going on. They were making a lot of communication with people speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
some sort of Spanish. We got a lot. We got some communication. I don't think we haven't checked all our EVPs yet.
I had some good communication upstairs in that little girl's room with the direct link.
Yeah, Dylan, you're right. Yeah, it took 18 months. So the people who worked on the house, most of them were slaves. They actually built the slave quarters of the Bellamy Mansion, of course, before they built the house. So that's where the workers could stay while they're building the house. And as Dylan said, it took 18 months to build the Bellamy Mansion, which, if you think about it, in this day and time, that is fast. For you got to think about, there's no electricity. They had to make their own nails, hand cut their own wood. It's just amazing to me when I think about all the handwork and the hard work that went into building a place like that, or any homes back in the day. It's just,
especially that one,
just mind blowing. I have a lot of pictures. I should have had them all up here and loaded, but I don't. But anyway, you should check that place out. We also I think the biggest thing for us was on the fourth floor. On the fourth floor of the Bellamy, we the fourth floor is and was um, the bedrooms for the children at the time, and and it was so cool that they actually had a stage, a build-up stage, probably 3.5 foot off the floor, where kids could get up here, get on the stage and play. I guess they danced and did plays, played with baby dolls, whatever they did to pass their time. It certainly wasn't playing games and doing social media. There's no video games or nothing. You are.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're low gear, man. You must need a monster. I mean, you're just like Dragon Bud again.
It's actually what I was thinking about, a monster is hitting around.
I feel like I'm sitting here with an old crusty spirit right this minute. You're just dragging.
No, that's good.
Anyway, we got some spirit balls. Dylan bought some spirit balls a long time ago when we first got started. We've used them a couple of times. I think we've had the spirit ball. Look, and I'll say this: we see videos all the time of people using spirit balls, and they're going off like crazy.
Yeah, cat balls.
Excuse me, cat balls. Basically, is a ball that lights up when you touch it. Now you do have to touch it.
Yeah,
you have to touch it. Just getting around it doesn't make it light up. In the Hell House in Kinston, we've had it go off a little bit there.
Yeah,
but every darn thing we've owned has gone off there.
Yeah.
I think did it go off in Georgia?
Yeah, it did.
I don't remember. I'll tell you this: it was going off in the Bellamy Mansion on that stage. We feel like we were communicating with some kids, to the point where it got so good, and we have it on video. We will be uploading it. We just figured out how to do it tonight with our new cameras. So we actually did catch the video of cat balls going off in succession. Dylan's like, if you're here, we kept saying, if you're still here with us, light those cat balls up, and they would light them up. And for like 30 minutes, we tried to get the spirit on stage we'll roll the ball to it, and it would roll the ball back. Well, after about 30 minutes, we finally, Halo rolled the ball. Dylan said not in Georgia. But we rolled the ball, and it actually rolled the ball all the way back across the stage. So
it did.
I know you probably find it hard to believe. And really, when it happened, I'm finding it hard to believe too. I'm sitting here thinking, did I just witness this?
We asked ourselves that for a good 30 minutes of help. We were talking about it on the way home.
Yeah.
We still didn't believe it.
But anyway, we do have it on video. That's not good enough for you guys tonight. I don't have it ready to show, but I will be showing it. I'm trying to figure out the best way. We just noticed that on our video, other than I have it on a cell phone, we've got it on a cell phone also. I got volume on that.
Yeah.
Dylan, all the recording on our new Phasm camera has 0 volume. I have no clue why. But we just went through the video, Riley and I did. Perfect picture.
Yeah.
Perfect video.
The picture was great.
But 0 volume. So I don't know what we did there. But
we'll have to figure it out.
Anyway, yeah, that's actually the only time that using those cat balls, we've actually found them useful. And I think that was very useful.
Yeah.
But other than that, we heard some footsteps in the children's bedroom right outside the stage. That was like the last place we done a little work in there.
That's the room that I got the contact with, the direct link.
Yes, so Riley was in there earlier. I'm talking about at the end when we heard a big boom on the wall while we were in there. And we're on the 4th floor. Nobody up there but us. Ruth and Angel had gone down, and they were out doing an investigation at the slave quarters. And even Angel said, man, we're just not getting a lot here. We all thought we would in the slave quarters.
Yeah.
In that home, but we really didn't. I'd say other than the cat balls, I was kind of disappointed until the cat balls, that when we had a cat ball roll back across the stage, that summed it up for me. I was like, cool, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I've
came and I've seen all I want to see. What's up, Mr. Doug? Hey, Chelsea, how are you? Appreciate you hopping on. We were supposed to go.
What?
we were supposed to go. You can look at it right here. That way you ain't looking all around. I said can everybody hear us? Can you hear us? Thumbs up. Somebody let me know if you can hear us. I feel like we're having a volume issue. Maybe I need to let Riley talk. You can hear him.
I can talk loud. Heck yeah, you can hear me.
Oh, all right. We got a yes.
Let's go. Send it.
All right. So here we go. We were supposed to, I think, Dylan, we got put off for 1 week.
On the Williamsburg Manor. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Williamsburg Manor was supposed to be this Saturday. And we got put off a week. That's okay. We got a lot of things going on anyway. So we'll put that off 1 week. So we'll get our schedule together and we'll take it off this weekend. And we just got a lot going on anyway in general. And really, I want to do some video editing. Maybe this weekend we can get into that and get these videos fixed. I really want everybody to see the cat balls roll across the stage.
That was crazy.
So, and it was witnessed by myself, Riley, Halo, Dylan, and Ruth. I think Angel, there's no telling where Angel was at. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
But, and by the way, we enjoyed being with Angel. I think we're probably more louder than Angel and Ruth are. They do a lot with the headphones and microphones. And truthfully, we probably could learn a lot more and probably get a lot more EVPs by doing that. But we found we've got good communication along the way. That's our way. I guess we're kind of loud. So it's probably not good if you're with us if you're doing microphone work.
Yeah,
especially when Riley's around with his baritone voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how everybody's like that too much.
Anyway, we got a special guest tonight. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I wanted to bring up the point the Williamsburg Manor got put off until March the 9th, this next weekend.
All right, so we'll get that figured out.
Now, if Chastity's ready, we could bring her on.
She's here. She's backstage. We're gonna pop her on.
Pop her on.
All right. Let's see if we can figure it out. Oh yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Chastity.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Glad you could do it. I think it might have been the last minute. I'm not sure, but it works.
I did. I got the message a little earlier today. I was like, oh, that's really short. So I was hurried up and got ready and got everything in line. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I know we talked about it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, me popping on for a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a few people up here. We'll have a lot more people actually watch this video later. We tried to move our lives from Wednesday night to Thursday night one night, and we actually had a lot more people on. So I don't know. We've contemplated moving to Thursday nights, but we've been doing Wednesday night for almost a year now. So
nice.
I don't know. It's kind of a tough market. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
I'll tell you what, it is very tough. Social media, if you're not paying to get ahead, sometimes it's hard to get out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're not. Riley's too tight, so we're not.
Why'd I have to get brought up in being tight?
Well, I guess the big question is, I'm Greg. I'm Riley's father. I helped him along the way. I didn't care a thing about paranormal up until about a year ago. He started bringing these and didn't believe in any paranormal. I'm going to be straight up with you. He started bringing these videos home, and I realized that me and him are just two country boys. We don't do no video editing. So I know he wasn't working on videos to make these things happen. So I started going and, and I enjoy going with him now. It's something we can do together.
Yeah.
So we learn something new every time we go.
Yeah.
So with that being said, tell us about you. Who are you?
So my name's Chastity. I guess you could say my stage name or whatever you want to call it is Luminary Luna Beams. So most people know me by Luna or Luna Beams or Chastity Luna Beams. I'm a psychic medium and an astrologer that specializes in the paranormal and spiritual guidance. So the way that I got into this was I am from North Carolina. I'm from Central North Carolina, but I used to live in Stokes County, which is the county above me now. So I'm like the Greensboro, Winston area. And so when I lived in Stokes County, I had a couple supernatural experiences prior to this. Mainly, like when I decided to go to church on my own and I got saved, I ended up having this weird experience after that. That kind of opened my eyes to the supernatural. But when I moved to Walnut Cove, I ended up having like a serious haunting, and it wasn't just
Mm.
me and my ex-husband that experienced it. It was our friends, family. And if y'all wanted to know a little information about that, we can get into it. But that's kind of what got
Absolutely.
me into it.
That
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
actually perfect.
Okay. And we can do that for sure because that's kind of like my origin story. So
Yeah.
this was way back when I was like late teens, early 20s. And now I think around 32-ish, I had what I call a spiritual awakening. And it was because whatever was haunting me, it stayed with me a long time. It went dormant and it come back with a vengeance, and it was messing with my family. And I always knew that I just kind of knew things. I always
Mm.
knew that, I just had this knowing about me, and I was forced to kind of rid myself of those problems. And here I am. I'll be 37 this year. So I've been doing this since about 2020. And I help people with paranormal issues. I have a podcast called Lights at Midnight Podcast that I host with Emily, the Fine Art Medium. And we literally teach people about the paranormal, psychic abilities, and stuff of the such. So probably been doing this now, like publicly, for about 2 years, but I've been in it a lot longer than that. So
Sounds
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
it's
sounds
an
just
interesting
like
life.
Is this your now? What's your full time job? What's your occupation? Is it this?
This is my full-time job. I would like it is a full-time job with all the socials and the, videos and the editing and stuff like that. I am partially disabled with my back, so I'm not able to do physical labor like I used to. My
Gotcha.
past life, I
yes,
was an event
ma'am.
planner, bartender. So this is what I do full-time now, and I homeschool my kids, which I'm blessed to be able to do. It's tough, but we
Absolutely.
make it work.
Yes, ma'am.
I get you there. Yeah, I understand. Riley's fully
Yeah.
disabled. He got in a car accident in 2014, and he's lucky to be sitting here beside me. So we
Amen.
understand. We
Amen.
we actually we talk about it with the Dylan, our other partner. We talk about it all the time. We really wish we could do it full time, but get paid.
Exactly. Exactly. That would be great. And, I've been
Yeah,
I found you guys like a month ago. So I've been kind of checking out the stuff, and I really like what you do. Now, I've not done paranormal investigation like you guys do, but I have done house calls where I go and clear houses and I see what's there. And I do my
yeah,
clearings remotely right now, unless they are local. So one
Ah,
of the things that I do is if a case, I show people and educate people on how to clear spaces and how to clear their own space. But if it's necessary, this is something that might be a little different. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this, but I do remote viewing. So I'm able to kind of enter my client's space and help them clear. I've helped people all over the world, honestly. And most of the time, good results. But as y'all probably realized, the paranormal is very intricate. Once you get into it, it can be predictable when it comes to entities and stuff like that. But
yes,
it's
ma'am.
always, and I know you said you do demonology too. So I think we have that in common. Riley, right? I think you said you do that.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Riley, not me.
Yeah. Okay. So me and you have that in common. I just do it maybe a little different. So I've learned. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I just went on like this journey. I always watched Ghost Adventures. I always watched like all that
Oh
kind of
yeah,
stuff, and I was searching for answers. Well, it took me a long time, but I feel like I finally found my spiritual calling is to help people, and then the spiritual guidance and stuff.
well,
But
I think you and Riley have a lot in common with that because he'll tell you. I think he said it more than once. His main purpose in this is to help people, and we've actually helped several families with issues.
Yeah, we have.
Some not really paranormal, but
yes,
so there's a lot. Let's just say people are different. there's
yes,
there's a lot going on and a lot of things you can make yourself believe things that your mind is very very strong.
absolutely. And people don't realize how powerful their thoughts are and how much of a
Yeah,
creator we
Yeah,
are. And you're right, because when we go into a case, we have to look, even though I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, we have to, look at the body, the mind, and the spirit and what's going on and what's causing it. Because one thing that I've related the paranormal to, it's not always this, but a lot of the times is repressed trauma or things that we've experienced. And if you go back and you look at the case, the big thing again for me is to find the origin of the cause. If you find the origin of a haunting, you find the origin, you can actually, that's when you get really a hold of that, if there's an entity involved, or you get a hold of that person's mental, and we have a full like setup of how you're supposed to clear. You can't just clear the house. You have to make sure, sometimes people need their body cleared, like through energy healing. Sometimes it's medical,
Yeah.
so there's just so much. So I can relate.
Yeah, we've Riley probably more so than I. When he first got started, I think he kind of got hooked when he actually got hoaxed into going to help a family. And we've talked about it on our live, so some of the viewers have heard about it. But after it was over, he'd been to this place 3 times.
Yeah.
So
30 times.
and it got pretty bad to the point where he actually felt like he came home and he felt like something was eating him from the inside. And I was like, dude, you're not doing this anymore. And he was so up about it. And come to find out on the 3rd time, they realized that the people who would bring him in to help cleanse this home were actually pushing some witchcraft.
Ooh, yeah.
So they were. It was almost like he and his friend were being set up. So I think on that night after that, he probably learned. That's when he said, "You know what? I'm gonna read up and study more of demonology. Not because I want to interact with a demon. I just want to know how to handle the situation if we come upon something like that again."
100%, because not everybody has positive intentions. And I think some people that might just be getting to know me for now, or in the last few months, like I don't worship demons. Demonology, there's really 2 facets of that. So it's important that you bring that up, because there's people that want to study demons and help people in a positive way, and then you have people that want to study demons and bring them into their life, and that is definitely not what I'm about either. So demonolatry and demonology, and people really get that confused, and it scares people that aren't educated, and that is part of my goal as well, is to educate people the difference. It is important, because you have people out there that practice all kinds of stuff, and it has a lot to do with knowledge, because the knowledge is power.
I think some and something we're learning more and more. We just learned this past weekend, actually this week. Riley went to a church with a friend of his, and he just happened to be wearing his hat and a hoodie which has this our logo on it. And the pastor, before it was said and done, the pastor basically didn't want Riley to come back because he thinks he's interacting with demons. And so he was judged by a pastor who's a Christian. And we're Christians, and we've said it, we'll say it again, and we'll keep saying it till we die. We've had several people accuse us of
being devil worshipers.
Devil worshipers. I'm like, hey, that is the last thing we're doing. We're doing this because we like the older things. We like Civil War type stuff. We like the history of old homes. And but the big thing we do, if somebody calls and hey, we're experiencing this and that, we want to go help them. If we can help them and make their life better, we're gonna go.
Exactly.
So we're not devil worshipers, but it's amazing how we get we get labeled.
Yeah, you get discriminated against, and you have that whole group of people that don't even believe it all, and that's fine. See, for me, I say I speak my truth. This is what resonates with me. You take what resonates with you, and you leave the rest. And the symbol itself, that symbol is a symbol of protection, but people see it and they associate it with Satanism, but that's generally upside down. There's a lot of things. And my first experience was, so I wasn't raised in church, but I decided when I was around the age of 11, 12 that I wanted to go. And I decided to get saved. And the day that I gave my heart to Jesus, I literally had my very first astral experience, and it was much more vivid than me like sitting in my room looking around talking to you guys. And all in short was, I was laying there flat on my back. I wasn't asleep, and I started to I saw an oval doorway appear in my mind's eye, like behind my eyes, and I know I wasn't asleep. It was almost like I flew through it, and then I opened my eyes in the spirit, And I was like looking up, and this room was at church camp. We were in bunk beds and it was pitch dark. But when I opened my eyes in the spirit, there was a light emanating from one of the empty bunks. And my body just started lifting up like a feather, and it was like I was flat down like this, and then just this part of my body started lifting up, and my legs were flat. And as I lifted up and looked over into the empty bunk, there was a big ball glowing light. And I got up a little further, and I could tell there was a man in a white robe with black, not black, but brown, kind of wavy hair and the gold tassels, and it looked like Jesus. And it scared the bejesus out of me. But yeah, it took me a long, really pick apart that experience, because I opened my eye, like I had my eyes open in the spirit, but I opened my eyes in the physical, and I was in the room, in the, the same room, but it was all dark. I closed my eyes, and I was back in the spirit, and my body was still lifting up. And I was 12 years old. I was pure. I didn't really know what was going on. But now I've realized that the day that I gave my heart to Jesus was the day that they were showing me my light and my gift, because I consider myself like a light worker. Some people call it light warrior. I don't try to label myself too much, because, everybody has something different. Everybody has abilities to a degree. We all have that gut feeling at the very least. But it took me a while. I had children and, had my family and did all the big life things. And now that I've come back around and had time and my kids are growing up more, and to give back to the community and go through my own things myself. And that was my first experience with the supernatural. That was more of a positive experience. But I'm more of a I'm not necessarily a Christian. I don't have anything wrong with that at all. I don't label myself as that. I just label myself as a spiritual, like a spiritualist, I guess you could say. But in my work, I do use Jesus's name, because it's very powerful. And, I'm very grateful to have that connection with Jesus, because I feel, I can feel him with me and my guides and stuff. So I can relate very much to that. Like, it's so powerful. Anything you do, that's how I banish the, the entities and stuff with people. And most of the time it works. Sometimes it might not. Sometimes it's more effective in person. There's just all kinds of situations. But long story short, I'm a firm believer that Jesus is great. He is the OG demon slayer.
We can agree. All agree on that.
Yeah,
we can.
We've used his name. Matter of fact, there's not a investigation we go on that we don't end it with his name to help make sure nothing comes home with us.
Absolutely. That's the biggest, most important thing.
That's truthful.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's
I like the story how you got started. So
thank you.
So that was when you were 12. All that went down.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ask you. I'm dumb to this. So the light part, you were talking about the light. I know you were. There's something about the light. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So let me see. How can I start this? Let's go with like different, like heaven and hell. Okay. We think of hell is dark, heaven is light, earth's right in the middle. That's just the best way I can explain it. Beings in the light are beings that have went to heaven and that ascended, that are positive light beings. Like, if I connect with a past relative, for example, for somebody, they come out from the light. Most people move on and ascend. So the light is just that all-loving, all-consuming presence of God, in my opinion. This is my truth, and Jesus, he uses light. That's how I saw him. That's just, again, my truth. And beings, we use light energy to heal people with our hands. If you ever heard of old mountain healers and stuff like that, and how they use their hands, in the spirit world, things translate into color a lot. So different colors mean different things. Everybody emanates light. That's, generally positive. If you're depressed, your aura, your physical aura, it can be all kinds of different colors and stuff of the such. So light can mean many different things. And so that would probably be the best explanation without getting too deep into it, because I see spirits. Yeah, I see spirits in the light, and I'm the type of medium that can see spirits that are in the dark. So going back to like how most people ascend and go to heaven, well, there are some times when people do not ascend and they end up in what I refer to as being a ghost. Like, and that
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
go, yeah, deeper on that. But some people stay behind and they don't go to the light. And the light that I'm referring to, in my opinion, is no different than the light that exists in the ascended realms or heaven. So, but then you have your ghosts, and why do ghosts exist and stuff? And I have my opinions on that. And it's just a really deep thing. And then you start getting into multidimensional entities and different realms and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff that I've tried to learn. And, really how I got to be this way was a bad part in my life too, before my spiritual awakening. Everybody kind of goes to that dark night of the soul. And
Right.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
saw a lot of spooky things, and I still do when I help my clients. But at the same time, like, there's a light and a dark and a vibration. If you think of your soul, you have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, period.
Yes,
And that's really what emanates that. We're all capable of it.
yes, ma'am.
Yep. So I got some spooky stories. Depending on what y'all want to ask me, go ahead. I'm game for anything.
I like spooky stories. Let's start there.
We were going to ask you, I guess you could say what's the craziest thing you've experienced, and probably what's the bone chilling one that you were like, oh my God, is this happening? Is this really happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's
So,
probably not scary. I don't know. I guess there's a difference. There could be something really scary.
okay. Well, how about I've got several, but how about this? Since we're talking about my teenage, early 20s, I'll go back to a time when I ended up moving up to Walnut Cove, and my ex-husband's mother was living there at the time, and she started having some type of psychiatric issues. And she was seeing people, talking to people that wasn't there. We were 100%. It was like schizophrenia and stuff like that. Well, I was 17. Yeah, I know. I was a little young. I graduated high school early, and I moved out in with my boyfriend, that whole thing.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
yeah, that's when the spooky stuff started happening. So I'd say about 2 weeks prior, or 2 weeks after I moved in, me and my ex-husband were coming home from our workplace. We worked at the same place. We come home at like 11:30 at night, and I had a little puppy in the backyard and a little pen, and it started to get really cold. So I was like, I said to my ex-husband, you come straight through that front door and you go straight to that back door, because spooky stuff had already been happening, and you let me in. Well, I walk around the side. It was a single wide trailer. So I walk all the way around to the side, and gave him plenty of time to come to the door. And I grabbed my little puppy, and I heard something. It was the frost actually had started setting in while we were at work. And I heard crunch, crunch, crunch. And I look over, and the moon was shining down, and I couldn't see anything. And this is before I did any of this type of work. And I heard crunch, 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 crunch. And I grabbed the dog and I started beating on the back door. And it was in it when his mother was having some mental issues and stuff like that. We thought, and we know she did, but there's a little more to it than that. And his mom actually came to the door, and when that thing got to my face, though, it made this noise, like kind of like The Grudge, like, oh, there was nothing there. So I almost peed myself then, right? So about,
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
So about 2 days
Oh
later,
goodness.
yeah. So I was 17, I was naive, and about 2 days later, I told his mother, I said, I had the weirdest experience outside a couple nights ago when I accidentally woke you up. I said, and I just want to tell you, I don't know why I told this woman this. I probably shouldn't in retrospective. But when I told her the story that I just told y'all, this woman was I'm about 5'7". She's 5 foot tall. She's a little old lady. She's really super sweet. And thankfully she's out of all this. All this is over with now. But when I told her this story, this woman, her stature grew, like she come at me like this, and her eyes darkened, and she like did this, and it almost looked like her teeth grew. I was not on anything. I had just got off of work, and she started screaming at me in what I would consider false tongue, or a demonic language, or a Latin language, a language she does not speak. She is
Yeah.
a country woman from the Stokes County area. She does not know anything but English, and her whole demeanor just changed, and she screamed at me in another language. And I literally I had dishes. I was helping her put away the dishes, and I ran through the house, and I threw the dishes on the couch, and I grabbed my fiance. Matter of fact, maybe TMI, but he was actually taking a leak, and I didn't even care. I'm like, your mama, your mama. So
And that was his mom.
that was his mother. And I was like, I
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God. And, bless her
Was he
heart. She
concerned? Was
Say
he
it again.
concerned? Was he concerned?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes. We were
he
all
hadn't
concerned.
experienced that. He
Yes.
hadn't
And
experienced that.
no, nobody
Okay.
had. Nobody had it. And it took me a while to realize why that happened, but she still went on with, the things that were happening. She got help and things got better. Now, if I was to take myself now and analyze that situation, this is kind of what I feel happened. So I have a certain life purpose to help people clear out negative energy. Spirit knows about our souls because our souls resonate uh, frequency, energy, and vibrations, and we all have a set path, in my opinion. So me doing the work that I do now, and me doing the type, clearings and kind of fighting evil, spiritual warfare,
Yes,
whatever
ma'am.
this was, knew what I was capable of more before I did, and I intimidated it. This is not the first time this has happened to me either. I had this happen later too, another possession type story, which we can pass on or get into later, whichever y'all want to do. But
That
this was my
sounds
very first
wonderful.
scary. Huh?
Sounds
Sorry.
good.
Okay, awesome. So basically what I think happened was that, the entity that come through her, I'm very positive that something slipped in, because when your mind's going and you have a lower vibration, you're super sad and all that kind of stuff, that's when you're susceptible to spiritual attack. She was not
Yes, ma'am.
possessed. Now I
Yeah.
know it wasn't a possession. She was jumped. There's a difference between being possessed and there's a difference between being jumped in that kind of situation, and that thing was messing with her because and that's kind of what I think happened, and it put me in a place of fear, and living there, we would sit outside on the porch. You'd see like this zigzag black thing go across the yard. Things would move, fly off shelves. I would be laying in bed and I'd see black mist and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people saw
Oh,
it.
wow.
So that was my first like ever super scary. Well, actually, that was my second super scary experience. The one thing that happened prior, make it super quick, that happened was me and two of my girlfriends went up to see him when we were like 16 years old, and my one friend could drive. So I don't know if y'all have heard of this place, but Payne Road in Stokes County, North Carolina. I'm sure y'all have heard of the Lawson family massacres, Payne Road. Possibly, if you haven't, definitely check it out.
I'm
It's
sure those Lawson family, those massacres you're talking about. Dylan was talking
mhm.
about that the other day, I think. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
heard of
we've
that right on
actually,
those roads.
I've
yeah.
heard of Plain Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I,
So it's like if you go up there and you get in your car and you turn it off, or things will happen electronically and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we did. We were a bunch of teenagers, went out to Payne Road, nothing happened. We come back home, and this was before the whole like experience with his mom. But yeah, so we come back, and when we got ready to leave, because we lived in the county below, Stokes County, and we were going back home, we all felt something was off. Me and my two girlfriends. I was in the back seat, and then my friend was in the front seat, and my other friend was driving. And we all were dead quiet, coming back from like a boy's house, with some other guys and girls. And, you would figure we'd have a lot to talk about. Nobody,
Yeah.
we were dead silent because we just felt this looming presence. In my mind's eye, I swear, and I didn't understand it then, I saw a black shadow kind of hovering over the back of the car, like telling us home. My friend driving, I finally said something and everybody was quiet. I finally said something. I said, "Do y'all feel like we're being followed?" And my friend's like, "Oh my God, yes," because I thought my eyes were deceiving me. There's like this black misty thing behind the car. I saw it in the rear view, and my friend in the driver passenger seat in front of me, she said she felt it. So I saw it in my mind's eye. My other friend saw it with her eyes, and then my friend that was in the front seat just felt it. That feeling did not leave us after going to Payne Road and the same house that experience happened with his mother until we got to the destination. So that was the first
Wow.
thing. Yeah, it was creepy. And
That is creepy.
yeah, and we did a podcast, and we had audio issues about the Charlie Lawson massacre and stuff. We did a podcast in the first season. I think it's episode 5 or 6, where we covered all that. Stokes County's so haunted. paranormal activity during the podcast. Audio, like the audio in the podcast is all messed up, but we did the best we could because it was such a interesting thing. But Stokes County, one thing to know about Stokes County, Mount Airy area, you have Pilot Mountain, and Pilot Mountain has a grid, like a energy wheel around it with ley lines. And some of those ley lines go straight through Stokes County. They're very spiritual. There's a lot of Native American activity. It's just a lot. So, yeah, I was introduced to all that. But that's just a couple spooky experiences I had when I was younger. Now I actually see things. Like I see them either in my mind's eye. I don't always see them with my eyes, but a lot of times, like I have validation and proof of seeing certain entities in people's houses. And before I even speak to them, I do like a consultation, and I channel in the information about what they're going through, and I draw out things, and then I validate it with the person. And we do that on Lights at Midnight now. Uh, and a lot of the times it's either symbolic or highly accurate. I'm not boasting, not tooting my own horn. It's just, this is what I experience now. I've experienced things from just a residual energy to earthbound spirit to elementals to what we would consider demonic. Like there's just so many things, and thought forms are a big one. So lots of stuff.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
So with your mind being so active, I mean, I feel like your mind is probably, it may be totally wrong, but I think yours is hard to rest. Can you shut it off with
Yes.
with all this stuff going on, and you're thinking, okay, am I seeing this? Am I hearing that? Or I mean, can you turn it off?
Yes. So that is something that has to be learned. So there's a lot of people that, are intuitive now and stuff like that, but people that are similar to me, because there's quite a few out there that do the work that I do, not as many as you would think, but it takes time to learn how to shut off those abilities and rest your mind. Thankfully now it's like turning on a light switch, turning it on and off. So will I get psychic impressions or intuitive impressions still, even if I cut off the light switch? Yes, but it's something that is like that has to be learned. It's like a muscle. You have to train it, and everybody has their own abilities. Again, it just could be a gut feeling, right? Everybody
Oh
gets
yeah.
gut feelings up until you start getting into your clairs and your ESP and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can
Yeah.
cut it off, but it takes time. Does that mean that I won't have an experience? No, but it's got to the point now where, like for example, if I have a paranormal case, which I do all my paranormal work for free. I only accept donations. I do not charge people for clearings. Like I have like metaphysical products and sprays and stuff I sell, but as far as helping people, I can't find it in my heart to charge people that are terrified.
Yeah,
That's just not.
we don't
Okay,
need it.
either.
Yeah, we don't
We
need it.
don't either.
Yeah, and I just don't. That's just not me. That's not what I do. I want to make that very clear because people know I do the work that I do, and we commonly get. Now, if you want a reading about your love life or stuff, that's different. That is a service, but the stuff like this that's immediate and children involved, absolutely not. But yeah, I cut it off. I cut it on, but basically, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the dreams. So a client, I might not even know I'm working with a client. 3 days prior, I'll have some type of dream that's very significant, very vivid. I'll write down all the information, or sometimes I'll see things in my house that I've learned that aren't really there. They're more of a psychic impression, like black shadow crossing my hallway. I never see it again, stuff like that. But it's pertaining to my client that's coming up. I've done that before as
Oh,
well.
wow.
Yeah. So precognitive and stuff. It's very interesting. I never thought I would do this type of work. I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you guys. Always been interested in the paranormal, but I never thought that this is really what I would do. So
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
man.
yeah. I think we can agree on that too.
Yeah, we
Yep.
can all agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
so you guys are doing. So you got a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What's it called again?
Lights at Midnight podcast, and me and Emily, the fine art medium, which me and her do very similar work. We co-host that together. We started our first season. This first season is massive. We did a whole year, and the reason we did that is because it lights at midnight. So light again, midnight, dark. We take people through a journey in the first season that started October 31st of 2022. And we take people on a journey from like the paranormal all the way through in 30 episodes to like intuitive gifts. We always kept it spooky because that, we're a psychic paranormal podcast. But we talk about kind of what our origin stories, and then we talk about haunted place versus haunted person versus haunted objects. And we break down all of that stuff. I've learned so much about haunted objects along the way, especially with a friend of mine named Duran. He is called Dead Serious Investigations. He's a haunted objects collector. We talk about, he's really cool. He's got some stuff coming out, but haunted objects is something totally, it's way different than a haunted person versus haunted place. Signs your house is haunted. Then we go through kind of like a series of entities. So we start with the most evil ones, and we go all the way to ascended angel beings. So it's like the diabolical, which is like, let's say, demons and stuff. The elementals, which was the abominable. Then we have the celestial, which is, higher vibrational beings. And there's one more. We talk about frequencies, spiritual awakenings, and psychic abilities. But it's 30 episodes. It's over 60 hours of content. And the whole point of that was to release this information to help people that suffer in silence, because most people do not want to talk about this. They get, oh, you're crazy. We want to relate to people, and help people, understand that they're not alone. So that's really what it's about now. Season 2, we help clients. So we might be closing out season 2. It's only going to be about 6 months long, but we take paranormal stories and we try to help people the best we can remotely and give them answers to what they're seeing and validation. And we're starting to do reaction videos. And then I can't tell you for season 3 yet, but we'll talk later about season 3 between us.
So we got a lot of catching up to do then, because I didn't know about it.
So is that your podcast?
Yes. Yep, I can see it. Yep, that's us.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna listen to it after the live.
Oh, he'll be up all
awesome.
Night. He'll be able to tell you everything, all your seasons.
I hope y'all enjoy it.
I'll catch up with it tonight.
Awesome. And see, that's the whole first season. The second season, the whole first season is just audio, but you can also watch us now for season 2. So we've done video for season 2. So you can either listen or you can watch on YouTube for the folks that may be interested. And if you just plug Lights at Midnight podcast into your search engine or whatever, you can find us, including the Luminary Luna Beams. The SEO, I guess, because there's nobody else named that, you can find all of our content there.
That's great.
This right here said, "What's lurking in the haunted Hinsdale house?" That gets my attention.
Yep. That's there. So that's the first episode that we did separate audio from video. So it's similar, very similar content, but we did a reaction to Omar Gosh's visit to the Hinsdale house on YouTube. But we recapped all of that in the podcast episode and kind of just added some more backing and some more facts to it. So very similar, but a little different.
So you're not actually going to locations?
Not yet, but I want to really bad.
Well, we may be coming to Stokes County then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one here, he's not afraid to ride. He's ready. So he has to talk.
I love to.
Don't worry, I'll talk him into it. I ain't even worried about that.
So what's the Hinsdale house? What is that?
So the Hinsdale.
One thing we're learning, there are so many places around, just in North Carolina.
And see, that's what I'm having trouble with, because the only place I know of around here is the Trivet Clinic Center, which I'll be there too as a reader and selling my products on April 13th. So I'll get to meet y'all then.
We are planning to go. We need
We are.
we need to pay our deposit or whatever we got to do. We keep forgetting. We've been
Yeah.
there. We've been there 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that's something I'm struggling with is finding places in North Carolina, and I'm trying to connect with people here that do what we do because I am in the Piedmont area. But the Hinsdale
Yeah.
house is located in Hinsdale, New York. Because me and Emily, we're separated by a few states, so we do it all like
Yeah.
this with our
so
stuff.
now
But
where's she
Hinsdale, she is in PA,
at?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're maybe a month ago, one of our followers reached out to us and she
Oh,
needed some help. Where was she at? Was it Ohio?
I think it was.
She needed some help with a haunted, people were experiencing some serious things, and is part of a paranormal team,
Mm,
but it was out of there. They couldn't do nothing. They didn't know what to do. It was probably more than most want to bargain for. So she was
right.
trying to get us to go because she knew Riley wasn't afraid, which is not always good. But he talked to her about, hey, maybe I can help you remotely. I just can't up and go to Ohio, you
Right.
know. So it was good for me to hear when you said you do things remotely too. So when he said that to her, I'm thinking the whole time, is that even possible, really? So
Yeah.
that is neat that you can do that.
It's mostly education. So, like the person that needs the help, they have to be willing to follow like a certain order and a certain step to things and trying to find people. And sometimes they have to outsource help, like for energy clearance of the body, and they have to be comfortable with somebody coming in or them clearing their house. Like it's homework involved. And most people just want to like turn the key and be like, hey, okay, I need it gone. That's not how this works. Now the remote part when you do remote energy clearing and stuff like that, is it always necessary? No, but in the case like you're talking about, the Ohio case, that might very well be needed, especially with paranormal investigators, because some people don't even protect themselves. And when you're constantly dealing with the paranormal, that saying of if you stare into the abyss, it stares back is 100%
Yeah.
facts. 100% facts. So if they're having something, they've probably picked something up on their travels, and somebody's probably intuitive. So yeah,
Yeah.
helping people remotely can be like educating them, or it can be like where you have to actually do some energy work, within spirit, which I know
Yeah.
sounds really crazy if you've never heard of it before, but it is very possible. But if the person doesn't follow like through, like I recommend a person to clear their house once a week for a while, like with sage or however they're comfortable, holy oil, whatever
Yeah.
they're comfortable with. If they don't follow through with things, and it won't go away. Like they
Right.
can bring
Yeah.
it back, because a lot of people that have paranormal experiences that aren't going and looking for them are generally very open to the spiritual world, and they have things going on that they don't understand. So that's where the spiritual guidance comes in. It's not, I can do it from a paranormal sense, or I can do it from just a normal sense. And so people have to have that spiritual guidance and understand, hey, I might be sensitive. Why do I hear voices when I'm laying down at night before I go to sleep? Well, you're clairaudient. Or some people can say, you're dreaming. Or, okay, why do I get pictures in my mind? Why do I visualize things? Well, that's kind of like being clairvoyant. Clairaudience, when you hear things, when you just
Okay.
know things, that's clairsentient or clear knowing. And then some people get aches and pains in their body. Like you might go somewhere on a paranormal investigation and you're like, man, my shoulder's really hurting. Why is my shoulder hurting? You might be clairsentient. Like God gave us all the gift of, God gave us all the gift of like gut feelings. But something for me is you can be intuitive, and know things, but discernment is key, and I think discernment is earned. It's sometimes given, but most of the time discernment is earned through, your connection and your maturity and, your that kind of stuff, basically.
I can
So
tell you, for like you said, you get that gut feeling. We talk about it.
I get it a lot.
He gets it more so than me, and in different places after we've been somewhere for a while. But I've several places when we walk in the door of a place, I get that gut feeling.
And I can
mhm.
feel it.
I mean, he feels it when we pull up in the vehicle, and it is usually always right. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes we're doing something, and I'm like, man, this is nothing, and all of a sudden he'll get a little feeling, and something will start to happen. And I don't know. I think he must have a light beaming off him or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh
seems to
yeah.
make things happen when they when nobody can, which is not always good.
Right.
Uh,
It can't be. It can be and it can't be, depending on
Yeah.
the situation, because you can attract things to you. And if you're doing this work right now and you're called to do this work, there's 100% a reason. And we're all like, I might know a lot of things. Like I'm a talker, obviously, and I try to be very educated, but I don't know everything. It's all a part of your spiritual journey. That's the beauty part of it. And if you're
yeah,
doing this type of
yeah,
work, you've got something that is definitely guiding you, which I believe in guides and, guardian angels and
yes, man.
intuitiveness. Yeah.
Well,
So,
we love having you on, and we love having
We
somebody on
do.
who's talking, because we beg people, please. We're doing this thing just to we want to get people up here and hear their stories.
right.
We
Yeah,
want to talk about it, try to figure things out, or just hear
yeah,
stories and let people know, hey, it's okay to talk about it. Because, like you said,
Hmm.
most people, they see us coming, and they don't want to talk about it. And chances are they're experiencing something. They just don't
yeah,
want nobody to know. They don't want nobody to think, hey, they
mhm,
might think I'm crazy, or or something. We get that a lot.
yeah.
So I
Yep.
guess people think we're crazy. So, we're
Yeah.
cool
And
with
I've learned to accept that because I had to come
I
out as a
have
psychic
to.
medium.
I've learned to accept it.
Yeah. And it's okay if people don't believe in what I do. I'm not here to convince anybody anything. I'm here to help people that need the help. But it is funny because I'll get skeptics like in my message box every once in a while. I've been very fortunate thus far. But I've got a skeptic one time and he's like, I've got this thing going on and I describe the room to him and stuff. He's like, "Well, I'm kind of a skeptic, but you're telling me things that are actually there." So it's got me kind of believing. I've turned I've turned a few people from being skeptical to be more open, but it's,
it.
not
Yeah,
everybody's path is supposed to be like this. So there's some people that need to stay on that left brain logical, they need to stay on that path. That's a part of their purpose. But there's so many more people as time goes on that are opening up spiritually and they have no freaking idea what's happening. And that's why there's people like me and thousands of other people like you around the world that want to help people get to the bottom of this because we're going through a great spiritual awakening collectively. Uh, God and the devil, you want to say God and the devil, is making their presence known left and right these days because of the
Oh yeah,
times we live
yeah,
in.
man.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
That is a
The
hundred
times
percent right.
are not really good.
Yeah, and I will say this, I've got other folks I can always I don't know if y'all have an Instagram, but Instagram, I'm connected with a lot of people and we interview people. So I have other people that could probably send your way that'd be willing to have a chat with you like this.
Oh,
No worries. And we can
We would
collaborate.
love that.
Yeah.
yeah, we'd like that a lot. We're trying to push it. We want it to grow more.
We
Hmm.
Not
really
just for
do.
us, but to maybe the bigger we can go. I mean, we don't mind getting in the car riding. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We'll go. We've been out of state several times. And I was just sitting
Yeah.
here thinking, we in October we're going back to do an investigation at Brushy Mountain.
I
Bruh.
want to go there so bad.
So Riley
Oh
and
my
I,
God.
we went in October. We were going to just take a day trip because you have to, of course, you have to pay to have an investigation, and it was all booked up. And I told him, I was like, you know what, we're going anyway. They open at 11 o'clock. We'll be there. And
Yeah.
we walked through the gate, and the lady at the desk saw our shirt. She said, I've seen y'all. I've seen y'all. She said, y'all can investigate. You just got to be discreet about it. So she was nice enough.
Nice.
And we were hiding electronics in our pockets and things just so we wouldn't be
Yeah.
seen. And she was cool about it. But we decided, well, we're going to go back in October and
Try to do an
we're
overnight.
going to do it overnight there. So that might be a good one that it's probably not too far from you, I wouldn't think. Well,
It's
compared to us, it's a good haul for us.
Yeah, it's about I'd say 4 or 5 hours because I looked it up, but that is one of my bucket list locations. So we can definitely talk about it for sure because I would be interested and maybe I can get another person in on it to help too, because that would be great. I would
That
like help
sounds
because I'd want to
amazing.
film myself. That would be great.
That place is hot.
Yeah.
That place has got a lot going on. We did a lot of EVPs while we were there because we didn't take a lot of big equipment, and we played them back, nonchalantly. We're terrible about going back over our EVPs and our videos unless we see something when we video it, then we're like very eager. But there's so
Yeah.
many things that I know we're missing by not going back over our stuff.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
we just happened to go over our EVPs, and we were like, "Are you kidding me?" We heard kids playing in the background, um,
Mm.
nasty voices talking. I don't mean
Yeah.
nasty vulgar, but I mean
Deep.
demonic sounding. Kind of like what you visualize it in movies. It was like that. I mean, like
Yeah.
very raspy,
Yeah.
mean, deep sounding, bone chilling sounds. So.
And
Why are we talking about going back after saying my hair's standing up on my arm?
and when I walked up on the walkway in D Block, I channeled one of the spirits felt emotions or something, I guess. One of them channeled through me. I felt it.
Ooh.
Sickening feeling.
Yeah, he gets that. He gets those feelings where I don't get those where he just feels like, hey man, I'm about to get sick. I'm about to throw
Yeah.
up. And the only
They
time
see
he
his
gets
light.
that, I think so. That makes
Yeah.
sense. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, they see your light, and the fact
your
that you're
light.
feeling that through your body means that you're probably more clairsentient, which is clear feeling in the body, which would, I mean, I'm not making a prediction here. This is just something I've learned along the way, but that means that you potentially have a lot of earth signs in like around your birthday. So was it Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn? So like December, January, or were
These
you
are
born
June.
in April?
It's June.
June, so then you're Cancer. What day on June?
I told him if he keeps dipping, he's gonna get cancer.
Fifth.
June 5th.
June 5th, so you're a Gemini like me. So somewhere in your astrology chart, you've got like the earth sign predominantly, because I've learned that there's a correlation between, and as astrology is a whole nother subject, and you can talk about a bunch of different things, but I've learned that you can tell people's intuitive gifts through their astrological chart, which is a birth chart. So that's a whole nother subject. But for me, I'm a Gemini. My birthday is May 31st, but my moon I'm a Cancer moon, Cancer rising, which is a water sign. Water signs get it all. They get all kinds of feelings, like empathic feelings like that too.
Yeah.
So it'd be something interesting to look into. And I
Maybe you're
know
not crazy. I've been calling you crazy for a long time. Maybe you're not crazy.
Yeah. You help me out because he's saying maybe you're not crazy.
no, I think if you're doing this work and you get these feelings, it's for a reason. And you're wanting to help people, you have that drive to help people, it's 100% there. It's just part of your spiritual journey, it's part of your soul's path.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that we're set up before we even get here, like our whole future, there's fate and destiny and free will, and all that stuff kind of plays together like driving a car. We got the steering wheel, we got the gas and the brake. People say they steer their lives. Well, honestly, I think we just control the gas and the brake, because God steers our life. He decides what we're going to do, but we choose to put the gas on and hit the high road, or go on the right path, or we hit the brakes and we stop ourselves, and then God makes a decision for you. So that's all a part of it.
So we have we lost you for a second. We have a young girl who helps us on our team a little bit. Her name's Halo. I don't think she's up here tonight. I don't see her, but anyway, she's kind of sensitive. She grew up in a very haunted house. From Maine.
Yeah.
She's from Maine, and she's in our hometown now. Like she's 17 or 18, but she gets a lot of feelings that we don't get, and
right.
So she's very sensitive. So we kind of decided to let her come along with us, and she's brought some things to us like the young children. So it'd be Riley, myself, and Dylan, three guys, and we've noticed going into places that females mostly, and kids, children spirits have nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that makes
To
sense.
bring her along, it's like we get more child young activity
Yeah.
than we ever have. But yeah, I guess she must her light is welcoming kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On more than one place we've been and got names. We get ages, and that's something we really wasn't getting a lot until she started helping us. So
Yeah.
I say you people, the sense that you're working with, and we could all learn a lot from you, and it would be amazing if we could meet up and go places. We'd like that because I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of things don't make sense to us, and it's just because we don't understand what's going on.
All right. I would be happy to join up. I know we can chat about it and I'll talk to you a little more about kind of my situation and what I got going on. But my goal is to do paranormal investigating in 2024 and 2025 and, so on. So I'd be more than happy to work something out. That would be great because,
Yeah,
That sounds magnificent.
and I would love to talk. You said, Halo, I'd love to speak with her if she's of that age and she's already having those types of experiences. I would absolutely love to talk to her one day and kind of see what she's got going on.
Yeah.
She'll
She'll
talk
talk your ears off.
We would get fit right together then.
And another one, and I'll say this: another one. We do some things. The guy who builds a lot of our equipment, Angel's up here. He was. He's Durham Paranormal. Him and his wife. His wife's named Ruth. She flat out. She's got the gift too. Probably maybe even more so than we know, or more than they've told us. But we've been in places, and she just flat out has conversations to the point where on one investigation, she just broke down in tears right in the middle of it, of someone needing help. And we get that all the time. Help. We get it all the time when we're on investigations from spirits, and we're like, dude, how do we help?
So you have to, and see, here's the hard thing though. The only thing that when you go on a paranormal investigation to a place that is selling that investigation, for example, they want to cross over.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're trapped here. There's many reasons why they're trapped here. Okay. Some of them just need a medium, like a psychic medium, to open up the portal of light so they can cross over to the other side and go wherever they
Yeah.
need to go. But when you do it at places like Brushy Mountain, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying this is affiliated with Brushy Mountain at all, but if I went there and opened up a portal of light and let all the spirits, and I'm not saying every one of them obviously would leave, but if I took away some of the paranormal activity, they may not be too happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But but in situations like that, that's where you cross spirits over. They won't help because they can't get out. And I mean, sometimes they're just stuck kind of it's so, and maybe next time, if y'all want to have me back, we can talk about spiritual realms. And that would be a really cool topic because in the paranormal sense, because there's like layers. Yeah, there's layers and they get stuck in these layers and like it's like a book almost. And you open up the book and you see different pages as different layers of activity and energy because we all transmit like energy. When we have something really tragic happen, we like have an energy dump. Then you can have energetic debris around your house. That's why it's so important to keep your house clear and whatever way possible that, you want to do that. People use sage, Palo Santo, they use incense, they use candles, they use their energy, they use holy oil. That's why you get that residual energy out of the way because it gets sticky. Like if I could describe residual energy or a place that has psychic debris from just years and years of people living there that may already be sensitive themselves or may not and suffer traumatic events. That's why when you have a place like with war, I could tell y'all some good stories too about things I've seen surrounding like the Civil War that would probably, I don't have a lot of information, but enough to be like, what the, what, but it's just like sticky, stuck energy. You can see it in my spiritual walks, how it's like piled up in the corners like dust, and you come in with the light, whatever you want to call it, and transmute that energy. People say that I have the ability to kind of transmute their sorrow and sadness. And that's just part of being an energy healer. I consider myself a multidimensional healer. I haven't went on the journey of like Reiki healing. And I don't even know if I would do Reiki specifically, but energy healing with the body. Like I want to do that one day. I'm trying to master my skill of the place healing. I want to heal places and cross over spirits and stuff. So
Yes,
that's,
man.
long story short, that's why they call out for help, because when somebody's there that has that light, they can help. They can help them cross over if they want to, because spirits still, to a degree, have that free will to pass over to the light.
Well, and now that you said that, there's been more than one occasion when we're like, how do we help you? I mean, do you see a light? If not, I mean, go to the light.
Mm-hmm.
See it, don't be scared. Riley said it a million times. Go to it. Go.
Mm-hmm.
What's holding you back? It's safe to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a spirit. Sometimes it's a darker entity. It can be a human entity, or it could be a multidimensional entity, or it could be a demon that literally holds them in what. There's a lot of words that I kind of not make up, but I have to assign to things. I should make like a dictionary. I think I'll make like a paranormal dictionary one day, but I call it a spiritual liminal space. And that's where like entities can create and manifest their own spaces and actually hold like human souls hostage, darker entities, because there's a whole thing, in my opinion, where we talk about like feeding off of energy and layers again and layers. Like again, we'll go into that now, but that's why too they get held here, or they got a past trauma, or they're waiting on somebody, and in reality that person they're waiting for might already be gone and passed on. That's just so much.
Yes, man.
We got a place local to us, so it's so weird that we'll travel 6-8 hours away and investigate a place, and there's so many places right here by us. We got a place within 15 minutes of here. We call it Hell House.
Ooh.
And I feel like, and we named it because every time we go,
It's hell.
it's just negative. It's that feels like you have 1,000 pounds on your shoulders there, and we always deal with the nastiest, meanest spirit there. And I feel like he has what you just said. We feel like he has a child spirit
Hell
held
house.
hostage there, and he's
Mhm.
mean to her. And when we come and she's communicating with us, we've heard her. I know people, if anybody's listening, they're going to think we're crazy. We've
Yeah.
heard her literally heard her footsteps run through the house to
Mhm.
another room, and then hear a loud commotion.
I was going
And
to ask you, did you hear, like, I see and I hear chains, or I hear like something thudding on the ground. I wanted to say that before you
we
said it.
we hear, yeah, that's look at
Yeah.
look at the goosebumps.
Hell,
I'm
man.
Yeah.
telling you, we've
It's
heard it,
almost
and
like there's a chain on her leg, and every time she gets, what I'm
yeah,
visually seeing is like a chain on her leg, and when she gets so far away, she's like, "Poof," and pulled back.
and we've heard, and then and it never fails. Not long after that, we get we start getting pressured to leave. Things get thrown. Somebody will
Yeah.
get scratched. Um,
Yeah.
it turns negative quick, and it's like, do you want us to leave? And it's without a doubt, leave now. I'm gonna show you. And it just it
Yeah.
goes negative. So we're like, and I don't know why we want to go back.
That's what I usually say. That's usually when I say, I want to see it. Show me.
Yeah, he has the habit of that.
Yeah.
So and we haven't been back there. Supposedly going to tear the place down, and
Mm.
we asked the little girl, hey, and they're fixing to tear this place down. What are you going to do? And she said it'll be fun. You remember? She said it's going to
Yeah.
be fun, and so then I'm thinking, so we started to think, are we being tricked by a negative spirit, and it's really not a little girl there? I don't know. It's real concerning when you think
Yeah, it's starting to feel kind of that way, like, because I see the visual. I see like somebody running in a chain being drugged back. I see somebody doing that. I hear that. But at the same time, when you have these entities that create a liminal space for them to exist in and kind of create things, dark entities, that's what they do. They feed, and you start involving children and stuff like that. Are there children spirits? I do believe there are. Is there as many children spirits as you might hear? I do not. I think it is trickery, in my opinion. That's just my
uh,
opinion. But
Yes,
it's a
yeah.
good possibility, because like when you're talking,
Yeah.
there's nothing stopping that dark entity from mimicking that voice because it's already got a hold of the essence of that child. Could that child be an essence, like an energy imprint left behind because of somebody's bad actions? Because somebody did something to a child in that house, in my opinion. I don't know nothing about it.
Yes,
But
sir.
but then you have that darker energy. Could it be the person that did something to that little girl potentially, or could it be the driving force behind the person that did something to that little girl? Because spirits pass away, sometimes they move on, and then all you have left is that dark imprint of energy. And there's something called like energy threads. Okay, so when you have like energy threads, and you, like, let's say I connect with a certain place, I connected with the Hinsdale house, I have to cut those threads and make them stop, because there's an energy resonance between, because in there's no, time and space and everything is just as it exists here, but when you get into the other dimension, it creates like chords basically. So there might be an
Yes,
energy
sir.
thread from that event. I know I'm getting way out there, but this is just perceptional. That's kind of what happens, and that's why you end up having hauntings, and they again exist in different layers. So I'll stop there because I could probably go on, but point is, yeah, like that's very possible. I'd be very interested in checking out that place before
Yeah.
they tear
So
it down.
yeah, it hasn't been torn down yet. They are working around it. I'm starting to think maybe they're not going to tear it down. Maybe they're going to renovate this a very old home.
Yeah.
Been
Mm,
grown up and been boarded up for a long time. But when you ride by it, and you look, you're just expecting to see something in the upstairs window.
Yeah.
It's just like something's lurking there. Why we go, I don't know. But anyway, the last time we went with
That was fun.
our SLS camera, we actually, with Halo there, she was able to communicate with a little girl named Emily that was 9 years old,
ooh.
and all of a sudden it was like a light switch turned off. We heard her run away. We even caught her on our camera, and she sit down in Halo's lap on the floor. So yeah,
Wow.
look at that hair standing up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember
It was
that.
it was, and we haven't done any video editing. We have all of it on video, but it went south very quickly after that. After we heard her running through the house, running away,
Yeah.
and it was almost like
Mm-hmm.
she was saying, "He's here," or "He's coming." We didn't get all of it, and that was the same. I don't know if I should say demonic, but what's the word when you when things are thrown and moved?
Poltergeist.
Definitely
Yeah.
poltergeist, without a doubt, because we've had
Yeah.
things thrown. Um, we had I thought we caught it on camera not long after we heard her running away, and um, a door, double doors in the home, slammed so hard. We're all in the same room. It slammed so hard it banged closed and opened all the way back up, and it sounded like I don't know, it sounded like a
Shotgun.
shotgun going off, but it happened
Something was
like
coming in with a vengeance and something was
right.
leaving.
Yeah, right in
Yeah.
my face. I mean, it happened, and I actually thought I was recording. I had a camera in my hand the whole time, but I guess when the bang went off, I dropped my hand down, just protecting
Mm,
myself,
Yeah.
and
right.
I missed it in the video. But you could hear it without a doubt. Everybody, because we were live on Facebook when this was going on,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Oh my God, I heard that," but we felt it.
Hmm.
We felt
Yeah.
it. So it's just. I don't know. I used to would never believe this kind of stuff, but it's
Hmm.
out there. It is really out
Every
there.
Yeah.
place has an origin. Every place has a story, and that's really interesting. That really is. It goes back to human interactions and things that happened in the past, and then they get imprinted sometimes, or even much worse, like you're talking about. There's something dark there. There's something definitely masculine, and it does not like the fact that y'all are there snooping around trying to figure out his deal, because this is the way this thing feeds. It's like a
Oh yeah.
cycle, and feeding off fear too. That's what they feed off of, is fear and
Yeah.
things that fall in the category of fear, which is sadness. That goes back to the vibrational
Yeah.
spectrum and stuff, which we explain on the podcast. So that's pretty spooky. That place does not feel very good. Like, it does not at all.
Now we've been to a lot of places that I mean,
Yeah.
we got some spirit communication, but most places are not bad. They're not in our experience. But now we have been to the ones that are bad are bad. I mean, it's not like a little bit. There's like 3 out of the 100 that, like I said, most are not bad, are they?
Not
Demonic. Not
yeah.
demonic. I'm not saying that. No, I feel like we have been a part of that once or twice, but things
It's
being moved.
very rare.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's so much out there we don't know, and I feel like
Exactly.
we expect a lot more. Every time we go.
It's still a learning process daily.
Yeah.
It never ends because I might know some things, but I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. And it's always a learning process. It never stops, ever.
That's right.
Ever. So I can agree with that. And yeah, I would love to see what we can work out. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd really enjoy doing it because I want to do house calls. I want to do paranormal investigations, and all that kind of fun stuff. And I still want to do the remote stuff. But if I could help people in my area, that'd be great too.
Yeah,
I really would.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more people in your area who are dealing with things and not talking about it than you probably know. We have found that out with, people. We got a home call to go. The lady canceled on us. She got sick, but she was dealing with an older lady, and it's got to the point where none of her family will even come to her home. And we were supposed to go, and the weird thing is she was talking to Riley, 3 or 4 times a week, and now it's 0. I don't even think he can get her. He can contact her now. I hope nothing bad happens.
I hadn't tried to contact,
but she was contacting you. Is what I'm getting at, and now she has.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I really appreciate you getting on. It's been. Man, the time's flying. It's
it has.
It really has.
Get up here. We would love to have you back on, and anytime you want to talk or whatever, stay in touch with us. This is great. You can
for sure.
A lot.
Yeah, I'd love to do that and be a part, and we can set up some dates and times for me to be able to hop back on, and I'll try to get some other people. I know there's some people probably watching on my side of the things that might be interested, and I know a few people And do you have an Instagram? Because you can go ahead, y'all plug your stuff for my YouTube. I've got 7 people watching on YouTube. Thank y'all for being here. Guys, if you want to go ahead and plug your stuff to my followers, feel free to.
I don't think we have Instagram. We're behind.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We have a down south Instagram.
Yeah, but we don't do nothing on it really.
We should.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Your YouTube or your Facebook.
Yeah, well, you can check us out on Down South Supernatural on Facebook, and we have an old YouTube. We kind of started a new one, and like I said, we struggle with the technology. We've been trying to find somebody a lot more technology advanced than we are to help us get things moving. We talk about it. We probably have, 10 years worth of video. Maybe it's not 10 years. Don't get me wrong. But out of all the video we probably have a couple of hours of some very good stuff that, but when we post it, it's so boring because, everything's so boring leading up to that part and people lose interest. So we would love to find somebody to help us with our technology stuff, our videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that would be a big help.
But anyway. We'll be here every Wednesday night unless we change to Thursday, and we'd love to have you back on for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And I appreciate y'all having me on, and I thank everybody for watching and hanging out and checking it out. And guys that are watching on my end, go check out their stuff. Super sweet people. I've enjoyed talking to y'all tonight.
I've enjoyed talking. We've enjoyed talking with you as well, Chastity.
All right, and I'll message y'all later. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead. You want me to leave now? All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, there you have it. Got a new friend in with some followers. That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Like we always say, there's so much about it we don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to have someone like her on your side who can see a lot deeper than you can see and feel a lot deeper than you can feel.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll keep in touch with her for sure.
Definitely.
We'll also Angel, might tell Ruth to get up with her. I think there's a lot of similarities there between Ruth and her. So anyway, I think we're going to end it on that one, man. It's been a good live tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
It's been a great live tonight.
We'll be we're going to post a video from the Bellamy Mansion, showing you guys those cat balls being rolled. We're gonna have those uploaded hopefully by the weekend when we get a chance to. And we'll post that. You'll enjoy that as well as we did. But on that note, we appreciate everybody hopping on. We'll see you again next weekend.
Yep, we'll see y'all next weekend unless I can sneak in a time by myself, which I probably could if I put my mind to it. So y'all might get to see me again before next weekend.
I'm sure he'll pop on here. But anyway, until next time, lay it out.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hopping on. Until next time, catch us at that Down South out.
Bye.